Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Deal, Lord for a Grim Clover, and the upcoming Jaw the Dragon. And Emily Rogers is at it again. Once again, the corrupt gaming media is giving attention to this decade-long farce that is Emily Rogers and her insider career. Oh man, Nintendo cracks down on every other leakers. They crack down on former employees leaking Smash DLC. They crack down on voice actors. They fuck with people in the industry who talk about upcoming release dates. But Emily Rogers is so clever, so is so well connected, is so knowledgeable at the industry. Nintendo can't possibly silence her. So again, once again, after successfully leaking games such as Mother 3 and Star Fox Grand Prix, Pokemon Stars, and countless other projects, Endless Ocean 3, Emily Rogers has returned once again to give credence to this idea that there is a new Fire Emblem game on the horizon. Wow, Nintendo is putting out a new Fire Emblem game, one of their most popular franchises. Who could have possibly seen that coming? But not only are we getting a new Fire Emblem game, it's been finished for a year, and Nintendo hasn't released it yet because of, I don't fucking know. I don't know what her excuse is. Basically, the claim is that there is a new Fire Emblem game coming, and some details have been leaked about it. I've looked at them, I've looked at the images provided, and I definitely, not only just me, it's a lot of other people, I and several other people feel extremely skeptical this is legit for a couple of reasons. For one thing, the translation is in Chinese, and for another, the art style doesn't match like what Fire Emblem is known for. It doesn't match it doesn't look like a Fire Emblem game. It looks very generic. It looks like Genshin Impact. And what I assume this is that these images are coming from like a Chinese knockoff product, something that's like trying to ape the Fire Emblem formula and trying to make something else out of it. That's kind of my assumption on this. We've seen this already with like Genshin Impact and Breath of the Wild, where the Chinese just took like Breath of the Wild's iconography, like the things that make it really stick out from the crowd, and kind of made their own thing about it. Because there is no copyright protection there. Like, you can't stop people from ripping you off in China like you can in the rest of the world. So this is kind of a standard thing from there, from China. My guess is that the game does not look good. Like what we've seen, like the character models look fake. They look like that. They have that cheap Chinese look to them. The character model that Emily specifically mentioned, it looks like the SMT5 protagonist with like multicolored hair. I feel like that's what they did is they just copied the SMT5 protagonist and then copy pasted it into this Fire Emblem game. That's my official stance at this stage. Like, it's possible, it's always possible that intelligent systems is making radical changes. They are doing something experimental, like maybe that source of the Chinese, like who the fuck knows? Like there could be all manner of explanations, but I think like the most important thing at this point is the kind of, first of all, I am beyond like being skeptical of Emily Rogers at this point. Like, if I see her name attached to anything, my mind immediately goes to the past decade of her like obviously making shit up and trying to get attention. Like that's been the thing. That's been what I've been seeing on like 4chan and on NeoGAF and like Reset Era and like all these other communities, is that like every time she opens her fat gaping mouth and spews some bullshit, like a number of impressionable people, like including game journalists, like report on it as if it's fact when it probably isn't. Like, Emily's record speaks against her at this point. I myself have an entire folder of old Emily Rogers tweets on my computer. Like, I legit transferred it over to my new computer at this point. And I've been like letting people know, what what her history is like, her legacy, like her actual, success to failure ratio. And t- she has no successes, to put it very bluntly. Like, people say, like, oh, she leaked Pikmin 3. Bro. Bro. We knew Pikmin 3 was coming. Like, we knew that way ahead of time. It was like a very open secret. Like, it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't a big thing to, like, predict Pikmin 3. Like, I'm not sure, like, how most of her fans are, like, are defending her at this point, because I haven't really gone onto the community. I basically just looked at the image, like, decided they were fake, and kind of moved on with my life. I I don't like this. I said this numerous times before. I said this back during the NX era. I said this back in 2015. With the whole Star Fox thing. Like, Emily Rogers, I feel like single-handedly started the whole like Star Fox needs to evolve thing, which is extremely annoying. I I would like to see more people call out Emily Rogers, and like people like Alana Pierce, who claims that the next Nintendo Direct is going to be on the 29th, a date that makes no sense considering like they have a shareholder meeting like the day after or the day of. Like, they wouldn't have such a major event like that close. They wouldn't have like two such major events like that close to each other. You know what I mean? There is these people keep looking for clout, right? They keep looking for attention. And my view on it is that you absolutely should not give it to them unless it's like to let other people know that these people are unreliable, that they do have a poor track record, that they are parasites, that they're leeching off Nintendo's name to try and promote themselves and like their blogs or channels or whatever. Like, this has been going on for years. It needs to be more widely understood that these fake leakers cannot be trusted.